He's a leader in the disability community. He is a chairman of National Association for Persons with Disabilities, for persons with physical disability in Abuja FCT sector. And he's also a joint secretary to the National Joint Association for Persons with Physical Disabilities. But before then, we take a break and be right back. Don't go.
We're all engaged in trying to keep the country united.
For a nation to develop, conflicts must be minimized.
Peace and stability is extremely important for all.
My hope and prayer is that the Nigerian of our dream will be achieved.
Welcome back. Now, before the break, we were talking about disability, in particular, ability in disability, where we bring you insight on persons with disability and the society. And like I said earlier, with me is a comrade, not just any comrade, a comrade for persons with disability, an advocate, a leader in the disability community, in person of Comrade Chris Obiora Abo. Comrade Chris, you're very much welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me. I will say good morning, Nigerians, and I'm happy to be here.
We're happy to have you. Comrade Chris, when you came in, there's something peculiar about you that stole my mind. Like, I couldn't stop watching you. It's Anna and the aura in which you came in, like it light up the whole room. And I kept wondering, okay, this man, we have something in common. How do I get through to him? How do I talk to him? How do I approach him? But then something about you was so soothing, was the humbleness. And I felt you are a person with disability and you're advocating for people with disability. It will be very much okay for me to talk to you as a person with disability. Now, before we got there, at what age did you realize that you stood out and you were different?
Yeah, my disability is as a result of polio, So when I was growing up, I just begin to see myself as a person with disability. I think I begin to notice it at the age 4, and when I begin to notice my environment, so I begin to see that there's something different about me, that I'm not just like every other person. So then I was in a rehabilitation center, because my parents had to take me to a rehabilitation center where I was rehabilitated. I was taught how to make use of crutches, So then there was other children with disabilities as well in that particular rehabilitation center that was in the east, G River. So that this Salvation Army, they have a rehabilitation center, so we are all there. So that was when I begin to understand, because we go to school, we saw other children run around. I couldn't run around as just the way they run around. So that when I begin to understand that there's something different. That was I realized that I'm actually a person with disability and something is missing. And that thing that is missing is I can do some other things that they are doing. There are strategies on how to also do what they are doing. So I begin to now, with the help of those who are in the rehabilitation center, begin to learn some coping strategies on how to go about my life, or how to go to school, acquire education like every other person, and from the encouragement coming from my family and also people around me, I was able to go to school, acquire education, and continue to push through life.
I like the fact that you said you developed some improvisation.
Yeah.
Okay. What are those things that you developed, and how did you overcome, how did you cope with it?
For example, because I'm a person with disability, I understand that, first of all, I need to begin to, whatever any other person is doing, I have to do it extra in order for me to measure up. I'm sorry to say that, but that's exactly what I was doing as a child. When others are playing, running around, I try to always read my book. because I got to find out that these are some of those things I can do. I put in more effort in doing those things. So I was like, if I have opportunity, I can read, why not spend more time reading instead of running around, But that does not mean that I don't always follow them I follow them to play as well. I play football, I play football with my hands,
Wow.
the way I could, so or some of other things that they do. But what they normally do that time, they will just say, okay, you become the goalkeeper. Since they know that I can't run around with them, so I'll be their
Yes.
goalkeeper. So that's exactly what I was doing. So I play with them, So, but when you talk about strategies that we develop, so for example, if you're someone who make use of crutches, you have to develop how you can climb stairs, how you can move around with your crutches,
That's true.
how you can even sometimes use your crutches so you even carry a bucket of water.
Yes.
So you develop skills on how to do that. So these are some of the strategies that you're going to be developing. Your coping, I call them coping strategies, on how you can begin to do other things that other people do.
Yes.
So you develop some of those strategies. The issue is that, the thing is that I can climb the stairs, but it's not how others climb it that I
the
can
stairs.
climb it. For example, I always, if a step has a rail, it makes it easier for me. I use the rail as a support, where I now use the other side as a way of climbing, and it make it easier for me to climb. So some of these are the strategies that you're going to be developing, and also you have to develop strategy on how to communicate with people, because as a person with disability, the first time they see you, they see your disability
Before
you. So what you do, you develop those strategies. That for me, I put up smiles. So men looking at you, the first thing I'm smiling at you. So you
And
find
you
it
do have a
difficult.
beautiful
Yes,
smile.
you find it difficult ignoring me.
That's true.
So it's a strategy I developed. So I keep on smiling to people. I greet you, and looking at me, I'm always smiling, and you have no other option than to also respond. So whatever that you have in your mind, for you, first of all, you understand that this person is very friendly. So, and that being friendly will actually attract you to me. So that's another strategy I developed. So because I understood that first thing you do whenever you look at me is that you will not see those abilities. You will not want to even associate with me. So I have to come up with strategies that will actually make you to always
Want to come to you.
come to me and listen to me. Then again, I don't joke with appearing good, looking nice, because that's another way that I understand that people always associate disability with poverty. They must look that hard. They will not look good. A person with disability will not look good and all that. So I try to always look good. So I'm not just doing it just because I'm a person with disabilities alone. It's just for me to pass that message that disability doesn't stop one from being whatever you want to be. If you're someone who loves fashion, you can still showcase it as a
Be a
person with
fashionist.
disability.
That's true.
So it doesn't take anything away from you. So you can be whoever you want to be, irrespective of